What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison, man, bringing you a brand new episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. How's everybody doing out there, man? It's a good Friday. I'm happy to be on the mic with everybody. I'm happy to be alive, you feel me, with everything going on in our country right now. If this is your first time listening to the Melanated Convo podcast, this is a show where we interview different people from the community, different people who have businesses going, people who are doing different work in the community, people who are just inspiring individuals. Also on the show, we like to talk about black businesses. That's a really important part of the show to me, to be able to discuss black businesses, highlight a couple black businesses in the community who are doing their best to not only provide for their families and help out the economy, but do good business, right? So we do something here called the Black Business Spotlight, where I talk about a few black businesses. That's a part of the show. We also have news stories, right? So I'll find different news stories. Most of them I get from my website, melanatedfathers.com. That's melanatedfathers.com. If you haven't been to the website before, check it out. I have on the website this show, of course. We have a lot of information about history, a lot of information about black history on the show, or on the website rather. We have a lot of articles that I and others write about family, about our children, about relationships that we go through, right? Also on the website, you'll have the news stories. You'll have a book of the month. So melanatedfathers.com, the website, is like a hub for black families. I created my platform with fathers in mind, being a father of five, knowing everything I've had to go through, not having a father myself, just the stability that a man provides in the household is paramount. So my platform, kind of is based around, in my opinion, what a young father needs to know to not only be successful in this world, but be as most use to his people that he can be, right? So in my mind, when I created Melanated Fathers of America, the website melanatedfathers.com, I was really thinking, when I was a 22, 23-year-old man with 4 kids already, what type of information could have helped me get more knowledge of self? What type of information could have helped me get more in tune with who I needed to be and who I was? You feel me? So a lot of the information on the website, I kind of have that in mind. Now, of course, everybody can enjoy the information, everybody in our community, even people outside of our community, but it was created with like a young father in mind. So we do the news stories, and every week we have a topic. So I talk about the businesses, we go over the news stories, and then to wrap it up, I go over a specific topic that I have in mind. This week, we're going to talk about interracial. This week, we're going to talk about interracial relationships. You feel me? I posted a video about a week ago of a young white lady who was calling her black baby daddy a nigga. So we're going to kind of get into the politics behind racial, or the politics behind interracial relationships. Should we do it? Should we stay away from it? Should we just have kids with people who look like us? You feel me? So we're going to get into that, right? So check it out. Let's get everything started, family. First thing we do here on the show, on the Melanated Convo podcast, is we talk about the black businesses. Like I say every week, the finances in our community are extremely important. A dollar does not circulate through our community more than I think 1 or 2 times, right? Whereas other communities, their money is circling through their community or circling through their neighborhoods several times over. So when we look at all of the injustices that we face, when we look at everything we have to go through in this country, when we look at racism, when we look at bigotry, when we look at how our communities look to a degree, of course, outside fractions have always participated in creating systematic endeavors that have done us bad shit, right? That have always contributed to putting us in really disadvantaged positions. However, as a people, I think it's imperative that we begin to learn history, that we begin to love each other, so we can understand how much that we have a say in this too, right? The system that we live in does a great job of, like I said, systematically oppressing us, but let's not help them. You know what I mean? let's not help them. We can do things ourselves to try our best to strengthen our economy. That's why black businesses are so important to me. And like I always say, if you don't own a black business, that's fine. If you don't ever plan on getting one, I mean, business isn't for everybody. Like running a business, that shit is difficult. So that's not for everybody, but you can support a black business. You can speak highly of a black business. I was speaking with a brother today, who mentioned to me how, you know, he knows this brother who is selling food by his job, and he was speaking to the some of the negative experiences he's had with the brother as far as the food not being good on certain days, him saying what he's going to bring and the menu ain't the same. He don't bring the stuff that he's talking about. People around the job are losing faith in him, talk shit about him, and he was mentioning how, you know, he don't know what to do. And I'm like, bro, you got to pull him to the side, man. You got to pull them to the side, man. We all we got, man. We all we got, man. You got to pull them to the side and have a heart-to-heart with the brother and let him know, look, man, I want to rock with you. I want to support your business. But like I always say, we have to, the tiebreaker is that you're black. The quality of your service or whatever you're providing for me has to be up to par with any other place I can get that service. You feel me? The tiebreaker is that you black. So whatever I'm buying from you, it's as the quality of it is where I need it to be, and the only determining factor is that you're black and I'm black, so I'm gonna rock with you, but I'm not gonna give you my hard-earned money if you didn't put the time and the effort into making sure your product is quality. You feel me? So, you know, and we deal with that a lot in our community, because he was speaking that his mentality was, what if this brother think I'm hating? You know how everybody be in our community, that they always think you hate and they don't want to listen to you. We got to kind of get out of that somehow. Like, let's start thinking a little bit differently. Maybe he will be open to changes you think he should make. Maybe he will be open to being critiqued a little bit, right? So we got to do our best, man, to help each other out. So for the businesses for today, the first business, because what I do is I go on my social media and I ask the family, like, who are some black businesses that I can talk about on my podcast? And every time I do it, I get like an overwhelming number of different types of businesses that our community has. And it's inspiring, you feel me? So I'm gonna do my best each week to get through as many of these as I possibly can. Now, for the first business, this is my boy that I actually know. I worked with him for a while. We, you know, so this is a close associate of mine, I would say, a brother by the name of David Gunn. Now, David Gunn has a company called Gunn Realty LLC, right? So a couple weeks ago, I was speaking about a sister, Shakira Rule. I said her name wrong last week, and her mom actually corrected me on that shit. Her name is Shakira Rule, and she was a credit repair specialist where she would help people. She gave out free consultations to help people kind of figure out, you know, where am I going wrong with my credit so I can get it to the score I need it to be for whatever reason, right? But I say that to say, you know, David is helping people trying to get homes, right? So Gunn Realty LLC, you can get multifamily homes, you can get a normal house, you can get a condo, there's lots for sale, you know what I mean? And credit is a part of that's what I was getting at. So the brother is doing his best to help people out in the community. Like I said, this is a brother I used to work with, but now he stepped out on his own. He's doing his own thing, like I was just mentioning, and it's extremely difficult to do. So I take my hat off to people who tried their best to step outside of the rat race and create generational wealth for their family on their own terms. Like, that's extremely inspiring to me. So Gunn Realty LLC, you can go there right now, GunnRealtyLLC.com. If you're looking for a house, I would say, even if you're in a position where you're just curious to know, like, what does my credit have to be? What are the items I need to have in place before I can get approved for this home, right? So give the brother David a call and he'll be able to help you with that. You can go to his website, which is Gunn Realty LLC, and contact him there. You can call him, which is 916-884-5469. Again, that's 916-884-5469. You go to the website, there's an app you can download, which will help you search for homes and just kind of get familiar with the process. Because for a lot of these things, family, you know what it is? A lot of times in our community and people that I've known, sometimes they'll just have it in their mind that they can't do something, as far as like buying a house. Like, I wouldn't qualify. I don't make enough money. My credit score isn't good enough. Family, sometimes you just got to jump in. Sometimes you just got to jump in and start the process and see how far away you are. You know what I'm saying? So you can gauge where you are and how much more you have to do. But this brother will definitely be able to help you with that. And what I really like, because I contacted my brother, tried to get an idea of, you know, the best way to present his product, and what he told me was some really good information. He has a great program. I thought this program was created based on COVID-19, but no, he's been doing this, right? He has a Homes for Heroes program, right? So if you're in the military, a first responder, law enforcement, healthcare field, education field, right? These are really important industries in our society, right? These are some of the people that we need to make sure they're as comfortable as possible because of how they have to deal with people, right? So it's the Homes for Heroes program, and basically what the brother does, if you fit the criteria, he gives some of his commission he earned back to his clients, right? Which I think is a great thing. So as an example, let's say you bought a home for $400,000, right? He'll give you like $2,800 of his commission back, right? So to me, that's just icing on the cake. I mean, most of us, if you're in a position to buy a house, you kind of get an idea of how much money you need, how much money you need saved, and all these things. But this can be a little cushion. Like if you needed to, you know, get some furniture for the house, or if you got to get something repaired in the house, or any of these things, this can kind of give you a boost to get that process started, right? So again, it's Gunn Realty LLC. Gunn is Gun Realty, REALTY, Gunn Realty LLC. Go on the website right now. There are houses for sale. There's a lot of different listings. In the bottom of this video, I'm going to post his information as well, so you can get it from there. And oh, before I forget, make sure if you're watching this video on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube page. My YouTube page is Melanated Fathers TV. That's Melanated Fathers TV. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube page, please do so now. I have these videos, the podcast is on there. I break down the podcast in different sections. That's on there. We have a History Matters section where I talk about different important times through history. For people who may not want to go to the website and read it, you can go to the YouTube page and see some of those videos. So please do me a favor. If you're in the market for a home, if you know somebody that's in the market for a home, please have them go to GunnRealtyLLC.com today. If you're in the Sacramento area, or even if you're not in the Sacramento area, you can call the brother at 916-884-5469. That's their that's the business phone number. So you can call them, and like I said, even if you just have questions, you may not think your credit or your job or your standing in society is enough for you to buy your own home, but you never know, family. So go to GunnRealtyLLC.com today. Get started on the process. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to find your dream home. They're helping out families one home at a time. So go to GunnRealtyLLC.com today. Check out the brother's website. Now, for the next business, again, another business that I was able to find when I went on my search for different businesses that I can assist, you know, my little platform and put your business in front of as many eyes as possible. This business is called Isolation.com. Isolation.com. I had a hard time saying that. I had to Google how to say it, but the spelling of the name is IXCHELATION. Isolation.com. Of course, I'll have the name and everything under this video. Isolation.com is a health and wellness brand, health, wellness, and beauty brand, specializing in healing diseases via detoxification, right? So they create natural products to help deal with a lot of the ills that we have to go through with our body when we eat unhealthy and all these different type of things, right? So if you would like to, would you like to learn more about strengthening your immunity? Would you like to, you know, are you tired of getting the runaround from doctors who never really give you the straight up answer that that you need? Do you feel that our communities are ignored by the medical industry, right? If you say yes to any of these things, and family, I recommend you go to isolation.com. And again, like I said, I'll put the name and the information about the business under this video, but they use divine sciences, elegant bonds, and ancestral remedies to help fix things that are going on in your body naturally, right? Like, we need to understand how toxic medicine is, right? And typically, when you go to the doctor and you have something going on, from my understanding, most times doctors try to give you a little game. They try to let you know, hey, all you got to do is be healthier. I mean, work out. Try working out. Try walking. You don't want to work out and walk? Okay, take these damn pills. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you can forego some of the pharmaceuticals that you get by either by going to a website like this or just trying your best to be healthy yourself, right? So also on the website, you can get there's like a deep tissue detox kit. There's Carbon Love skin and hair cream. There are different teas you can buy. There's bath detox crystal powder that you can soak in. There's different books that they sell about health and wellness. You feel me? There's a clear skin regimen that you can look into. So when it comes to your skin, when it comes to just being healthy inside, all these different things, they'll be willing to help you out. Now, another thing that I see now is pretty cool. They have on the website, there's a self-health assessment to determine where you are, right? They'll ask you a few questions. They'll ask you a few questions about your health and how things are going. And based on those questions, they can determine like what type of package will be good for you, right? So again, when we have issues with our body, we go to the doctor. And I'm not telling no one not to go to a doctor, but our black bodies are wired a little bit different than people who don't really have melanin, family. Like, this is a scientific fact. So sometimes there are products that you can take that are a little more natural that will kind of work a little more better with your makeup. You know what I mean? So go to isolation.com. That's IXCHELATION.com. IXCHELATION.com. Isolation.com. Health and wellness is important. A lot of times in our community, in black society, we will focus on money. Like that seems to be, especially for our young people, that seems to be the focus. Like, get to some money, you gotta get a bag, all these different things. Well, family, unfortunately, if you're not healthy, none of that shit's gonna matter. You feel me? If you got a lot of money, you didn't amass a lot of money, but your health is all fucked up, it's just a matter of time. Something negative is going to continue to happen to your body. Like, we got to figure out a way to take care of our bodies as much as we see fit. So if I can find a company that's black, that has things that you may enjoy, check it out. And just like I said about David's business, go to the website, isolation.com. Go to the website, check it out. You may like some stuff on there, you may not, but check it out. Give them a shot. We spend a lot of money every year, y'all, with people outside of our community. We go to stores all the time with people who don't like us, who talk shit to us, and we still end up spending money with them. So, you know what I'm saying? Do the same thing for your people. So go to isolation.com today. Get your health, wellness on. Health is wealth. You feel me? Money and creating wealth for our family is always going to be important, but so is your damn health, family. Go to the website today, buy some of the products, leave them some reviews. You feel me? These type of things help. If you go to the website and you decide to do business with them, leave them a review. Tell your friend about it. Use your social media to post your friend's business. I see all of us are on social media, right? For the most part, I would say 70 to 80% of the people that I know are on social media. Again, you may not have a business yourself, but promote your partners on social media. You know somebody that has a business and they're actually doing good business and you've enjoyed the product or you've been able to use the product, go on social media and tell the world about them. So people around the world will know what your friends do, know what somebody in our communities do. And I'm of the belief that if more black people become successful, it's going to help us all. You feel me? So go to isolation.com today. Check out some of the products. Get your health and wellness on. Now, that is it that is it for the businesses for the day. Got to get those businesses out the way, support my family, you feel me? Now we're going to get into the news stories, family. And again, these are always news stories that I find interesting. Of course, they are going to have something to do with the melanated community, but I like to find shit that, that's interesting to me, that I want my people to think about, right? Because a lot of us aren't too keen on understanding the importance of contextualizing racism in creating a crisp perspective on how you feel about racism based on your experiences, based on learning history. All these things are important, right? So sometimes I just present news stories to make the family think. So let's check it out. First news story out of Arkansas. A young 6-year-old girl named Journey Brockman. Journey Brockman, right? So what happens, I think this is about a week ago, her mom brings her to school in a shirt that says, and I quote, "All lives can't matter until Black lives matter." So let that sink in for a minute, family. Y'all kind of give me your perspective on how you would feel, right? So she sends a little girl with a shirt, with that shirt on. Now, do you guys think that shirt is offensive, right? She's 6, cute little 6-year-old girl. She's in the classroom, and the teacher calls her mom and says, I think one of the school officials called her mom and said, "We can't have this kind of shirt in our classroom," right? And again, the shirt read, "All lives can't matter until Black lives matter." Now, the mother mentioned, the mother's name is Duvall, D-E-V-A-L, Duvall. She basically mentioned that they called her and said, "Hey, she can't wear this shirt no more." The next day, right? So the first day she wears a shirt that says, "All lives can't matter until Black lives matter." The next day, she wears a shirt that just has a fist on the back. That's it. A black fist raised on the back of her shirt, right? And this is at, where's the name of the daycare? Kids Learning Center is the name of this daycare. This is in Arkansas, right? She wears the shirt the next day with a fist on the back of the shirt. The little girl is expelled from school. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying to y'all, family? She wore a shirt that said, "All lives can't matter until Black lives matter." What's wrong with that shirt? I need somebody to point that out to me. Why would it be offensive for a child to wear this shirt, right? Now, I would say, because she wore the shirt, the next day she wore a shirt with the fist in the back, and she was expelled, kicked out of the school, right? The teacher gonna tell the mom, pretty much, "I'm not trying to tell you how to be a parent, but you need to work on your parenting skills." She actually told it didn't say if it was a man or a woman, the administrator, the official is what they say, actually told a black woman this, right? So they expelled the kid from school and basically said, they released a statement saying, "We're not gonna encourage any racism. We're not gonna encourage any racism on our campus," right? So what we need to realize, and this is, to me, at this point, well, it's been like this, but this is coded language, family. If I wear a shirt, and people, I've had conversations with people. I had a conversation with a Mexican gentleman. I talked about this a few weeks ago, how I had a conversation with another Mexican guy who follows me, and I'll be honest, I thought we was rocking. I thought he kind of felt the same way I felt about our communities and all this kind of shit. He turned out to be a low-key white supremacist, or a fucking Mexican, whatever you want to call it. He probably checks white on the census anyway, but he was a Mexican guy that didn't really have an affinity for black people. After talking to him, I found that out. Another Mexican gentleman tells me the same thing. "Oh, Black Lives Matter is racist. That's provocative. What are we talking about, man? Fam, do we understand the history of the United States of America? If we do, right? If we all say, okay, we understand the list of atrocities that have taken place with melanated people in this country. If we look at the list of shit, from slavery to Jim Crow to Reconstruction to, until today, right? Would you say our lives have mattered to the government, to the powers that be in this fucking country? Would you say our lives have mattered? No. The answer is no. The answer is no. So if I wear a shirt, because I've seen black people say this Black Lives Matter thing could probably work if you just said it differently. Like, don't say Black Lives Matter. No, man, check this shit out. Regardless of how we say this, people who don't rock with us, people who are racist, people who are undercover racists, they gonna feel the same way about it regardless of how you would have worded it. It don't matter how you would have worded it. The problem is they're saying, nah, nigga, nah, your life don't matter. Nah, of course it don't. My dog's lives matter more than your fucking life, right? So we gotta be honest about that. However we phrase it, get the point, right? The point is the systematic injustices that have taken place with melanated people in this country has put us at a disadvantage. Now, granted, accountability in everything we do is always necessary. So yes, I should be accountable as a black man for my actions, what I do, what I partake in. I need to be responsible for that. Yes, but I have to admit, I was kind of crippled from birth. This system kind of put me in a mix from birth, starting by giving me this fucking last name. My last name is Anderson. That's my last name, Anderson. Who's that? Well, you want to know who it is? A white man is who it is. So you mean to tell me I'm in this foreign country with a foreign name, and that's how I started? That's how I start the process of trying to figure out who I am? Come on, man. That would be difficult for anybody. You see what I'm saying? And nobody that sits in America today has had to go through the shit that we had to go through. You feel me? So for this little girl to be expelled for a shirt that's expressing pride in her race, this school should be fucking sued. That's what I think. Now, granted, if the teacher or the officials would have said she's 6, so because the mom called and looked up the policy on what you can wear. The policy was you can't wear nothing that got profanity on it. So her shirt had no profane words. It's just pride. You feel me? So that's, to me, family, that's extremely coded language when the official said that's encouraging racism. What does that mean exactly? We should be able to express how prideful we are. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Now, if the administrators would have said, please don't let her wear this no more. If she wears it, maybe we got to have a teacher meeting or talk about it, talk it out. Maybe she can wear this. Like, let's find something more acceptable, maybe, right? I wouldn't like that, but if that's the route that was taken, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Still kind of some low-key racist shit, but okay. But to expel her, right? To actually expel her, that's some shit right there, family. So again, I'm always going to say this, black family, melanated family, if you have children, with everything that's going on in our society right now, if you have children, find a way to begin having the conversation about race in America. You don't want your kids to hate anybody, no, but they need to understand why we get treated the way we get treated. They need to learn how to contextualize racism that they see so they don't internalize it. You feel me? They need to learn how to contextualize the things that they see so they don't internalize the things that they see. And of course, that school is on some bullshit, but at the end of the day, it's up to us as parents to put our children in the best mental space to deal with this society. And from my opinion, this woman, Duvall Brockman, Journey's mother, she on the right path. At least she makes sure her daughter knows that it's important to have pride in who she is. That's an extremely important factor. You feel me? So I think this school should be sued. I think they should sue this school, and everybody in that state, everybody in that environment need to know the kind of fuck shit they be on. You know what I mean? So hats off to Duvall Brockman for showing racial pride with your daughter. I'm sure you'll find another good school, but you need to sue that school so nothing like this can happen again to our babies. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, y'all, we need to understand the importance of speaking up. Some of us may get tired of some of these instances that we keep reporting on, or tired of some of these racialized things that continue to take place in our society. But family, until this shit stops, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it is our job to continue pointing all of this shit out. At this stage of the game, as long as we've been in America, as long as we've had to deal with all of the injustices placed at our feet, none of us should be willing to tolerate it anymore. At any turn, school, work, in the street, wherever you are, tolerating racism. If you are tolerating racism, family, you're a part of the problem. You gotta stand up, regardless of the walk of life. Feel me? Regardless of how much money you got, regardless if you in an office full of white folks, right? You need to be able to tell people in any environment, without being threatening, without being abrasive, you need to be able to tell people, hey, I love my people. I support my people. This is why. You feel me? We all need to be able to have these conversations, in my opinion, regardless of where we are. You feel me? Because in American society, they do this thing where they tell us don't talk about race, don't talk about politics. To me, that's the biggest crock of shit in the world. Those are the two things that let people know how they feel about you. Let people know how they feel in general, right? So hats off to the sister, Duvall Brockman. Sister, we appreciate you. We rocking with you. Hopefully your daughter find a new school, but you gotta sue that school. You feel me? Now, next story. Let's see. Now, this story is out of Indiana. This story has a video attached. If you go to the website, melanatedfathers.com, by the way, you can see the video for this story. A black man named, it's a weird spelling name, V-A-U-H-X-S. No, V-A-U-H-X-X. Yes, that's how his name is spelled. Vox. So a black man named Vox Booker, maybe that's part of the problem here too, but a black man named Vox Booker, right, from Indiana, on 4th of July, or the day before 4th of July weekend, him and his buddy, white buddy, that's an important part of the story. He's with his white friend. They're at a park that has like a beach or something like that attached to it, right? So it's a park, it's a lot of grass, it's like a little enclosure where you have to go through to get to the other side. So they're walking through the side, and when they're walking through the side, a white man with a Confederate flag on his shirt begins to follow them, right? So he's following them, and he ultimately tells them, hey, this is private property, and you guys got to get off the private property. Now, he's talking to a black man, and I think the black man had one white friend with him, right? So he tells them that this is private property, y'all have to leave. Ultimately, he follows them to their destination. 4 more white men join them. So it's 5 white men following him. Ultimately, they end up grabbing this black man. Putting him on a tree. And this is his words. The black dude made mention of this, and he brought this story to light. Basically saying they was about to lynch him, right? On the video, you can see them with him pinned on a tree. Now, excuse me, he's pinned on a tree, but they ain't got no gun or nothing, right? They just some chubby little white boys got him pinned on a tree. Nobody got a strap or nothing. They just got him pinned on a tree, right? Holding him there, and his white friend is like, no, stop, get off of him, all this kind of shit, right? They got him pinned on a tree. Ultimately, other people come. They're making a fuss about it. So ultimately, they let him go. But while they're walking, it's important that you see the video. While they're walking, they're talking a lot of shit to him, calling him darky, saying everything but nigga. You're liberal, you're darky, all this kind of shit. You're welfare, all this kind of shit. They ain't say nigga, but it was on his tongue. You know what I mean? And this is in Indiana, right? So this brother is walking, gets accosted by these 5 white men, and based on what he said, they almost lynched him. Now, in the video, they just got him pinned to a tree about to fuck him up or do something with him, and something must have happened to make them ease up or whatever the case may be. But family, I'm tired of telling black folks, currently in America, melanated people, melanated family, we are in a war. You can call it a race war if you want to. Yeah, you can call it a race war if you want. We're in a war, family. You need to be aware. And look, man, and just to add more to the story, when the the Indiana Department of Natural Resources actually seemed as if they were cooperating with the five guys. They didn't interview any witnesses, and when the Department of Natural Resources law enforcement supervisor showed up, he was more or less insisting that people do have property rights. So he wasn't focusing on the fact that they was about to tie this brother up on a damn tree. He's focusing on the fact that, yeah, you shouldn't have been on the property, nigga. It's pretty much what he said. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, this speaks to a couple things. One, as a brother, as a black man in society, we got to figure out a way to be, we got to get the best understanding possible of how racism works. And I keep saying this shit because we keep having these type of instances, family. For one, his white friend wasn't riding with him. His white, if they got the lynch in his ass, he wasn't gonna jump in. He wasn't gonna do nothing. Family, racism in America is a real thing. You don't have to walk around talking about it all day. You don't have to walk around with a chip on your shoulder. But if you're gonna enter into anything with a white person, a physical relationship, just a basic friendship, if you're gonna be around somebody white, in my opinion, you guys have to have the conversation about racism. You have to be able to, well, first, you got to educate yourself on what we've been through as people, and hopefully that makes you prideful, so you can express it to your white friend, and if they on some racist shit, more or less, they probably not gonna rock with you anyways. But you got to express to your white friends how you feel and how y'all would react if a racist type of situation happened. Like, his friend was just sitting there, and he wasn't gonna do nothing. You know what I mean? And another thing, the brother was on the tree. Again, they didn't have a gun, didn't see a knife, didn't see nothing. Look, family, when it comes to violence against each other, and I'm not on no black on black crime shit, so don't go there, but when it comes to violence against each other, it seems like we're quicker to do what we need to do. We're quicker to be like, fuck that, well, get off me. Whether you getting somebody step on your shoe or say something you don't like, we quick to pop off on somebody black. Family, they didn't have no gun on him. They didn't have no gun on him. No gun on him. They just hold him on the tree while everybody yelling. It's time to die today, nigga. That's how I feel. You got me pinned to a tree, it's death day. God damn it. Somebody gonna die in this motherfucker. If you ain't got a gun to my head, I'm not finna just sit here. I'm not finna just sit here. We gotta have more pride in ourselves, man. He's walking away from the scene. He's calm. He's real cordial. He's damn near scared. Fuck that. Fuck that. We need to prepare ourselves, man. Our Second Amendment rights is just as important as anybody else. We need to practice our Second Amendment rights. We need to get in shape a little bit, because he was a big brother. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing against big people, man, but check it out, y'all. If the shit pop off, you feel me? If the shit pop off, we all need to be kind of like in, what if we got to fight? What if we got to tussle? You know what I mean? Guns and weapons is cool, but what if we got to tussle? You know what I mean? This brother was too docile. Way too docile. You know what I mean? You running around with your white friend, not realizing what's actually going on in this country, and that's a problem, family. So ultimately, I don't think anybody's going to be charged in this. No charges will come of it, but it's a lesson, right? It's a lesson. If you're in an environment where everybody around you white, I'm not saying to be uneasy or to start some shit with somebody, but at least you need to do is be aware. You need to be aware that racism exists, family, so you don't be shocked when this kind of shit happen, and prepare yourself. You in an environment like that, you better practice your Second Amendment rights. You better work out a little bit to make sure something like that happen, you can get it popping. Because like I said, they had him jammed on a tree. No guns. I didn't see no guns. You better jump up and get to swinging. You better say, fuck this shit. It's balls to the wall at this point. You feel me? So shout out to that brother, man. Hopefully you can get it together. Hopefully this is a wake-up call to let you know, family, white supremacy is real. You feel me? Now, next and last story. All right, this is about a basketball playing brother. So, a brother named Rossier Bolton. Rossier Bolton was a basketball player for Penn State. Last year, he transferred to Iowa State, right? Nobody knew why. People thought it was a playing time issue. It was just a disagreement with a coach. Well, this is actually what happened. So the brother Rossier Bolton, he went on Twitter and expressed why he had to transfer from Penn State. So what happened was the head coach for Penn State, Patrick Chambers, got to put you on blast, player. Patrick Chambers told him, and I quote, "You're playing like you got a noose on your neck." Let that sink in. He told one of his black players, "You playing like you got a noose on your neck." You see what I'm saying? And these are people that we're trusting with our children. These are people that we're paying all this money to go to school, right? Scholarship or not, you're putting all this time into. And look, man, the level of racism that's ingrained in this country, that's ingrained in the citizens of this country, is, man, we got to keep calling this shit out. That's why I appreciate this, because what happened was, if this young brother would have never said nothing, nobody would know. Nobody would know. Now, let me tell you what he wrote on Twitter, because he eloquently put this, right? Because he mentioned, he basically said that a noose, symbolic of lynching, defined as one of the most powerful symbols directed at African Americans, invokes the history of lynching and slavery and racial of African Americans, invoking the history of lynching, slavery, and racial discrimination. And then he says, due to other interactions with Coach, I knew this was no slip of the tongue. You feel me? So he knew he had a racist white man as his coach. Now, of course, the coach came out and apologized and said he needs to learn his players better and all this shit, but he wasn't going to do that. Right? He wasn't going to do that. And then when the young man's parents showed up to address this situation, he told him that his parents were well-spoken. He was surprised that his parents were well-spoken and organized. Another goddamn shot. Right? So it's almost like, well, I'm not going to say that. He knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about, because he came out, of course, apologized, says he didn't know it was insensitive, blah, blah, blah. Nah, you're a 40-something-year-old white man. You know exactly what's insensitive. You know exactly what's happened to us in this country. I'm not going to go for that shit. You feel me? So shout out to the young brother for bringing this to everybody's attention. I'm sure it was difficult for him to do. Who knows what he had to deal with on the campus he's on now after he expressed how he felt about this. But again, like I was saying a little bit earlier, if he didn't call this shit out, where do you think we'd be right now? You see what I'm saying? As far as over the history of this country, if black folks didn't call out what happens to us, a lot of positive steps forward wouldn't have been taken. So it's important that at every turn, if there's a race, and again, I don't recommend having a chip on your shoulder and thinking every interaction with somebody white is based on race, but shit, you better have that in your mind. You better have an understanding of the fact that it could be, and if it is, with these phones we got, all these different levels of communication we have today, you better tell somebody. You feel me? Let somebody know, because again, sometimes it can just prevent it from happening to somebody else. This coach, the coach of Penn State, he should be fired, family. He should be fired. How many black players does he got? This ain't fucking hockey. This ain't water polo or some shit. This is hoop. So half your players is probably black, if not more than half. So how you think about all of them? You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't be in a leadership position, in a position where he's affecting our children. You know what I'm saying? So Patrick Chambers, head coach of Penn State, should be fired. We need to start a petition, go outside of the school. Hopefully this article will lend itself to starting that process. And again, you can find the article on melanatedfathers.com. If you haven't been there today, check it out. But we need to do something about all this shit, man. And shout out to the young brother, Rossier Bolton, who had the presence of mind to actually speak on this, because it's been like a year. This was last year that this happened. He's just speaking on it now, but I'm happy the young brother had the wherewithal to make sure he spoke on this, because again, this can help any other black kids that's going to Penn State right now that has to deal with this white man. And like he said, this wasn't a one-off. Because of his relationship with the coach, he knew that he meant that shit. That wasn't basically he was saying that wasn't the first racist type situation he had to deal with this man. So shout out to the young brother Rossier Bolton, who is now a player at Iowa State. He now attends Iowa State. He's a junior. Shout out, young brother, for calling us out, speaking so eloquently about our past, about our history. I'm happy also that he's a young man, 1920, who knows our history, who is passionate about defending our history, who's passionate about renouncing all these small bits of racism that continue to plague our country. Every other day is some other shit going on, right? But we got to call it out, family. Now, that it for the news stories? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, all right. So that's it for the news story. So, topic of the day. A week ago, I posted a video of a white young lady who had a baby with a black man. She was disgruntled. She was leaving the black man's house. While leaving the black man's house, she called him a nigga several times. His mom was behind him. Called his mom a nigga, called his mom hella disparaging remarks, all with the black child on her hip. Right? So, the question I want to pose to the family, what I want to talk about with the family is, let's get deep for a minute. How do we feel about interracial relationships? How do we feel about them? Do you think it's okay? Do you think you should have kids with somebody outside of your race? Do you think you should only deal with certain races? Do you think you should stay within your own race? Like, how do we deal with the interracial conversation? How do you guys feel about that? So this is my take on it, right? Because people have been asking me about the video, and I was like, you know what? I'll just make that a part of the next show, right? So look, and actually, if you go to melanatedfathers.com, I wrote an article about interracial relationships with young people. That's on melanatedfathers.com. Go to the community forum section, you'll find that there. So I'm kind of taking from some of that article as well. So, who you love on a surface level, who you fall in love with, who you decide to love, I have absolutely no problem with it. She's white, she's yellow, she's green, you know what I mean? Like, with the nationality, the race of the woman that you decide, or the man that you decide to be in a relationship with, I don't have a problem with it. However, right, genuinely, I don't have a problem with it. And most of the black people I know kind of feel that same way, right? But here's a few caveats that we can't look over, right? I think for a black man or a black woman to be in a healthy, successful, and this is my opinion, family, a healthy, successful relationship with the opposite sex, the first thing that needs to happen, which, like we've been talking about, should have actually happened in your home, you need to do the history on race relations in this country. If your woman is white, she could be a fair person who's not racist at all, but you got to do the history on the relationships we've had with different races of people. You need to do the history on where we stand in this country, how we've came to be in this country. If you're going to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't look like you, you're doing yourself a disservice by not delving deep into the cultural differences that you guys have, right? You need to dig deep into the cultural differences that you guys have, and from there you can determine, is this still a good fit? Now, learning about your history, learning about the details behind slavery, learning about how we were treated during slavery, learn about how we were fetishized during slavery, and white women were sleeping with black slaves, a whole bunch of shit was going on. We have to learn about these things so we can, again, contextualize them so we don't internalize them. You feel me? And I think if you're gonna date someone that's, even if it's a Mexican girl, if it's an Asian woman, whatever she may be, right? First, you have to understand your history. You have to understand where you come from, right? Because in the video that I posted, this young man was obviously lost because now you have a baby with this young lady, and how was that gonna fare for your child? She calling you a nigga in front of your damn child. So what is the little girl? What is the child? You see what I'm saying? So, but family, it's good news. You can prevent this shit. Like I was saying earlier about the other story, we all have children. Family, we need to be prideful in being melanated people. We need to be prideful on how far we've come. We need to be prideful on what we've created, how we're idolized in this society. Like, there needs to be a sense of pride in every black home in America. If there's a sense of pride in every black home in America, ain't no way you getting with somebody that's racist. That shit ain't even gonna happen. They won't even be able to get that close to you. You see what I'm saying? So I blame this young brother, and I blame his parents too. Obviously, he don't know about white supremacy. Obviously. We think just because you having sex with somebody that ain't gonna be racist, you think that's gonna eliminate? No. White people, newsflash, they know how to compartmentalize, family. They'll fuck you, get up, and be like, all lives matter on your ass. You see what I'm saying? They know how to compartmentalize. We need to learn how to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm laying with you, but I'm going to the march in the morning. You coming? You see what I'm saying? Because it's too late in the game for situations like this to still be occurring in our neighborhoods. And I tell you, again, I gotta put some of this on the mom. I gotta put some of this on the family. I don't know if he had a dad in his house. I don't know how he was raised. But family, we gotta start talking to our children. This damn mic. We got to start talking to our kids. We got to start talking to our kids about racism. We got to start talking to our kids about the injustices that take place in this society. And as we've been seeing, like with everything going on now, this is the best opportunity. If you're a parent who didn't think of how racism may impact you, if you're a parent that never really looked into our history in detail, everything that's going on in this country right now gives you a great opportunity to actually do these things. It gives you a great opportunity to delve deep into the history and share these things with your children. And I promise you, if you begin to instill pride in their race at an early age, you won't find them in a situation where they're with someone from the opposite, from someone that's non-black, and they talking shit about us, or they obviously don't like black folks, and your kid jumping in and talking about them with us, or talking about us with them. You know what I mean? You don't want to have to deal with none of that. So to me, the biggest remedy in fixing this, it's not saying, because some people in our community are of the belief that you shouldn't be involved with someone that's non-black. You shouldn't have a baby with somebody that's non-black. And now look, I personally don't feel that way. But if somebody in my community says, I want to keep my bloodline pure, we African people, I want to keep my bloodline pure, I don't have a problem with that. If I hear somebody say that, I'm not going to be like, what's wrong with you? Why you don't? No. Other races of people do it all the time. Other races of people do it all the time. They play with your black ass until it's time to get married. Now all of a sudden Becky got a white husband. Keep that shit real. That happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because in their household, they like, look, don't. Now, they do it sometimes based on a racist ideology, like don't bring that nigga home, based on how they feel about us historically. But Asian people do it. Mexican people do it. Sometimes they don't even do it from a nefarious state of mind. It's more of, I want to keep our shit pure. I want to stay with what we got. So bring home somebody that look just like us. There's nothing wrong with that, family. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just on some real shit. If there's no racism or bigotry behind that decision, then I'm cool with it. If that's just how you want to rock with your family, you got that right. You know what I mean? But look, family, there's dating outside of our race, that's to each his own. Like, on some real shit, to each his own. But you need to be prideful in being black. This video was a testament to the fact that a lot of our young men, a lot of our kids, just a lot of people in our community aren't in touch with our history to the point where they can see some shit like this coming. Do you think this white girl began yesterday thinking he was a nigga? No. She been thinking that since he been fucking with her. You see what I'm saying? But you lay down with somebody and you think your dick is going to erase how they feel about your people. I'm sorry, family. That'll never happen. You see what I'm saying? So it's important Because look, I think if you get involved with a woman who's non-black or a man who's non-black, there's a positive spin on this, I think, that we can take from it. Like, I think all of us should do our due diligence to learn about other cultures, like to understand why other races of people do what they do, right? If you're in a relationship with someone that's non-black, if both of you guys are honest, if both of you guys are prideful in where you come from, that's actually a great opportunity to learn. That's actually a great opportunity to learn more about their culture. But see, the problem is sometimes we enter into relationships with people, and because we're fucking stolen Africans, we ain't even took the time to think about shit. So you dealing with a Mexican girl who got this a family structure that you haven't seen, where everybody comes and they get together, they got their own language, they got their own food, they got all this culture, right? We got one too, family. You just got to take the time to learn it. We don't have a home country that all of us came from. So we can't talk to our grandma about Africa or some shit, you know what I mean? That's just not how our setup is. So, as parents, as black people, it's important that as much as we're on social media, as much as we watch TV, as much as we put all this bullshit into our brain, take the opportunity to watch a documentary, take the opportunity to read a book. It's several hundred authors and books out there that can begin the process of teaching you about slavery and teaching you about not just what people have told you, but you need to read stuff yourself. When you research things on your own, it almost becomes a part of you, you know what I mean? To a degree, opposed to you listening to what other people have to say or watching TV about it. You got to do your due diligence and start reading books, start looking at documentaries, start watching YouTube videos, research the information that you hear to create your own perspective on your people, because sometimes we be in situations where we're approached with a racist type situation, and because we've never thought about it, because we've never put enough time and effort into learning about these things, we get caught off guard almost. You see what I'm saying? So you don't even know how you feel about black folks. You ain't even fucking sat down and thought about it. You know what I mean? That's why I make sure, look, the name of this podcast is called the Melanated Convo Podcast. That is so intentional, family. That is so intentional. If calling y'all black, because I use the term, it's a familiar term that people use a lot, so I use it in society. But to me, if I'm going to start a platform, if I'm going to start something where I'm speaking to my people, calling you black or African American, if you really want to know how I feel about it, it's damn near disrespectful. We're not black. Look at my skin. I'm not black. I'm not a fucking color. It's part of the reason why we don't have some of the rights we have today, because we're calling ourselves a color. African American was some shit that was popularized in the 80s with Jesse Jackson and some of the other politicians as a way to make us feel more comfortable about being this. Fuck that. No. Melanin is the reason for the season, family. Melanin is the reason why we get treated the way we get treated. Melanin is the reason why your ass can jump high. Melanin is the reason why your ass got rhythm. You see what I'm saying? It's a scientific connection. And to me, that's the core of who we are. My melanin is what makes me me. That's what creates, in my opinion, that's what created a lot of hate in this country. That's what created a lot of the disenfranchisement that we deal with, because white people understand 20, 30 years, they're going to be extinct. White people understand that if I have sex with a white woman, the baby's gonna be black. You know what I mean? They don't call Barack the half-white president. Think about that. Think about that. Kaepernick half-white too, but that shit don't matter. Y'all ever heard of the one-drop rule? One drop of nigga in your skin, that's what you is. You feel me? And people can say that's not the case, but we're shown that to be the truth time and time again. Any man that's half-black, for some reason, they're not calling you half white. They're calling you half black, or calling you black in general, because they know that black blood is dominant, right? So it's important that we get the best understanding of who we are. It's important that we teach these things to our children. It's important that we have pride. I'm seeing, because of the George Floyd situation and all of the killings, and you know, this shit's been happening for a long time, but for some reason, like my boy Jermaine Moore said, because of the quarantine set everybody down and all of the normal distractions aren't in play, a lot of people have had to focus on our struggle, and I'm loving it. I'm loving all the support. I'm loving how these companies are getting rid of the subtle racism that they've instituted for years upon years upon years. I'm loving it. You know what I mean? These racist monuments are being taken down. So these are small steps. but it's actually happening. And people, like I've said before in other shows, black people that I know who typically didn't give a shit about black issues, now they hitting me, even though I've been trying to tell them for years, but they hit me with all these different black issues and what's going on in the country, and I love it, man. I love it, man. If not anything else, we need to have pride in who we are, and we need to have a code of conduct, family. We need to have a code of conduct. That the story I just talked about with the black dude almost getting lynched inside of that park, when the law enforcement officer showed up, you know what he was on? He was on code, family. He was like, yeah, nigga, this is private property. You kind of shouldn't be here. He was on code with the white dudes he came there for, and he didn't even know them. Think about that. Think about that. White folks can get in the room, like my brother Tariq Nasheed always say, they can get in the room and be with us. A white person will come in the room and see some niggas in the room with some other white folks. He gonna get on code with them white folks immediately. Without even talking, they gonna know how to treat us. Without even talking, they gonna know what not to say around us. You see what I'm saying? So more than anything, we need to just begin practicing the code of conduct. How we treat each other. How we agree to treat each other. How we agree to support each other, right? How we agree to talk to each other, right? How we agree to be respectful. How we agree that at this point we shouldn't really be putting our hands on another brother. Now, I get it. Disrespect and your life being threatened, regardless of who's on the other end of that, you got to do what you got to do. But before we go there, we need to start thinking, okay, that's my brother. I love him. I don't give a fuck if you in Alabama. I don't give a fuck if you in Alaska, if you in Indiana, Arkansas, whatever state or city you in. That don't matter. We look alike. And regardless of how much money you got, regardless of how high in society you've been able to climb up the social ladder, you get pulled over, me and you both niggas, right? At the end of the day. So you can separate yourself because you're Haitian or you're Jamaican or you're Caribbean or from somewhere in one of the Caribbean countries. You can separate yourself however you want to do it. Your mom's white, you got a lot of money, you don't live around us no more. However you want to separate yourself, the people in charge look at us all the same way. We at the bottom of the goddamn barrel talking about your skin darker than mine. My light skin is a shit. Dark skin. None of that matters, family. We all niggas to the powers that be. You feel me? So the sooner we can begin to understand who we are, the sooner we can start loving each other, the sooner changes will continue to happen. A lot of what's been going on now, a lot of the unrest has been us coming together. Now, of course, there's been a lot of non-black people who have been involved in liberating us recently. And again, if you're fair-minded and you're really for the people, if you're white, Asian, Mexican, whatever, I'm with you. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, sometimes we got to deal with how a lot of the racism, a lot of things we have to deal with be covert. It don't be as direct as we would like it to be. But if you somebody that's non-black and you with the struggle and you with the movement and you genuine, let's do it. You see what I'm saying? So that has been helping us out as well. But at the end of the day, all we got is us, man. We need to realize that coming together, being supportive of one another is the best way to approach all this shit. And if we get on the same page, if we get on code, then we won't have to worry about having a baby with a white woman that's gonna call you a nigga. You see what I'm saying? So this has been another episode, man, of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning into another episode of the show. Where can you find the show, you ask, right? You can find the show on melanatedfathers.com. The show is always there. You can find the show on YouTube. If you're on YouTube now, please hit the like button, subscribe. You can go to my YouTube page, which is Melanated Fathers TV. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Spotify. Everywhere podcasts are, you can find the show. Please continue to support your brother, man. I'm going to come to you guys every week, have a detailed conversation, sometimes lighter. It'll get lighter as society gets lighter. You know what I mean? Like if it's serious shit going on in my face, I'm not really built to avoid that. I have to address that. But as society kind of gets back to normal and, you know what I mean, we'll loosen it up a little bit. And, of course, I do my interviews where I have guests come on. But, you know, I like rocking out by myself most of the time. But I have guests come on. So I appreciate the continued support of my website, melanatedfathers.com. Everything I'm attempting to do in the community, the people around me have been extremely supportive. So I thank and love everybody for that. This has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast, family. I'm out.